Hey guys, welcome back to Titan Futures Day 2 of live stream here. So just kind of running just a few minutes behind, trying to get some things worked out here. So um, you should be able to see my screen at this point showing the Titan Futures 1 point a day challenge. You should see that screen at this point. So hopefully you are. um, Let me kind of return back here for a second and get us in the right setup here. Um, all right. Let's see here. Again, this is the Titan Futures 1 point a day challenge. So thanks a lot for checking us out. Let me kind of get you going with the usual disclaimers here. We got to kind of make sure those are being followed properly. So take the time to check out and watch these. And read these. Excuse me, and kind of learn a little bit about the legal disclaimers and the risk disclosures. This basically just says, at Titan Futures, this everything you see on this live stream is for educational purposes only. Okay, nothing in this video should construed as a financial advice or recommendation to buy or sell any kind of security, okay, or investment. So we're not financial advisors here. So this is definitely for educational purposes. So like I said, take the time, read this disclosure. I'll leave it up here just for a few seconds. Okay, and then we'll get into kind of talking a little bit about the channel again, since it's only our second day live here. We had a great first day. We made 6 points as a team. And when I talk about a team, I'll let you know who those are here in just a second. But kind of we'll go over the rules and kind of the introduction. We'll do that for the first few times before we get into the markets, since we got a few minutes. Excuse me. So we'll just kind of go from there. All right, so there's the rules and the legal disclaimers and the risk disclosures that we need to put up in there. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's jump into the market here. All right, well, at least pull up a chart here for you. Okay. All right, so we got a chart up. This is the ES chart. We can pull out some couple things out of there, but that's the ES chart you see there. But let's kind of just talk a little bit about who we are and what we do, and then we can kind of go from there. Okay. Let me describe here real quick and kind of read the show notes or the descriptions. That way you guys can be caught up and kind of know who we are before the market gets rolling. Okay, so what you're going to see in the description, you're gonna see a little bit about our auto trader first. If you have any interest in auto trading, automating your trading to where you don't have to sit in front of the computer and make all the decisions, that's available for you. That's a product we have. We don't push that product. This is a free trading channel. Okay, 100% free, and we want it to be the best channel on futures trading on YouTube here. But there's all of our social links as well in the description, so please take time to like us there, and we would love for you to subscribe to the channel, please. The more subscribers we can get, the faster we'll grow, and the better the content, hopefully. So, well, we're going to put out good content either way, but we want this to be a great free trading resource for you. Okay. So this is let me just kind of briefly read the description. You can do that as well. You can follow along if you'd like, or if you just want to sit back and listen, that's fine too. Okay. So Titan Futures is a free educational trading channel that has been created to introduce you to the world of trading. Okay. This channel is for people that are brand new to the markets and have an interest to learn to trade for a living, as well as traders that have been trading for many years and just kind of want to get back to the basics of the markets and get consistently profitable again, because that's the name of the game, guys. That's the name of this game for sure. So this channel is a positive, respectful, stress-free, and encouraging place to learn the markets. So be mindful of that. Okay. We definitely want this to be somewhere you want to come each and every morning to learn the market. We want you to be encouraged. We want it to be not overwhelming, so you'll find that our method is very simple, easy to learn, and we'll actually, in the channel itself, we're building out the method playlist, so we're going to take it in very orderly in steps, so we're going to, if you have any issues to what you see today and you want to get some of the foundations, then go to the YouTube channel. We only got a couple videos thus far, but I'll put one on there, another one on there today that kind of helps explain foundation, because today we're going to start getting into the tools of the trade, so to speak. There's 5 of them that we'll follow, and I'll be making videos of those over the next few days. So hopefully by next week the whole method is in the YouTube channel. But follow us today. Just kind of hang in with us if you'd like and kind of learn a little bit about it. That'd be great. But again, there are many ways to trade the markets, but we teach one on this channel that has been proven in our experience to be the easiest and most consistent way to trade and succeed in the futures market. The methods we teach here can be used for any of the markets. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's stock, bonds, futures, ETFs. It just doesn't matter. Options, it doesn't matter. Okay, we focus on futures for the reasons you'll learn as you watch the channel, and I put more content on the channel itself. We'll start talking about all the pros and cons and really breaking those down. And I think if you didn't know about it, you'll be pleasantly surprised at the things you learn about the futures market and why we trade those. Okay. We encourage you to talk in the chat and ask questions or make positive comments. Okay. We love to interact with you guys. We really want to be a source of free learning and inspiration for your trading journey. So ask your questions and and I know we all hear this, but there's no dumb question, but there really is no dumb question here. So learn. I want this to be a newbie channel all the way to an experienced channel. So learn, ask questions. It doesn't matter how elementary they are. Please ask a question, because the good thing about that, we all started with elementary questions. Nobody was just born innately with all this knowledge. So ask the questions, okay? Everyone has a different personality and perspective that will make them successful in the markets, as long as they can control the human emotions that come along with trading. It does not matter whether you're young, old. We can all contribute to others in a positive way to help each other become successful, no matter what your goals are in trading or in life in general. Okay, so we want to be very supportive here. All right, so again, be positive and respectful and treat others the way you'd like to be treated. So subscribe, tell all your friends to subscribe to this channel, and let's make this the best free trading educational channel on YouTube. Okay, so a little bit about me. My name is BK. I'm the head trader here at Titan Futures. I've been trading the markets for 20 plus years, from options to stocks, bonds, ETFs, but I've traded futures solely for the last 10 years due to lessons you'll learn on this channel, meaning that you'll see why all the benefits of trading the futures as we kind of unfold this channel to you. You'll see why I've made the switch over the last 10 years and have really enjoyed doing that. Okay, I will also be accompanied by 2 other traders on this channel, on this live stream that you'll learn from. We're getting those guys plugged into the voice part of this live stream, just taking a little bit of extra work, but we will get them in here pretty soon. And their name is Soto and Mitchell is how they'll be referred to in the channel here. But they've each learned and mastered the method that we teach here in the room, and have earned the credentials of instructor of the method, and will be in the room most times, okay, if not all times, discussing and giving their unique input into the live stream. Okay, we want to thank you for taking the time to sit in on the live stream and asking the questions. We hope and pray that we can be a blessing to each of you. Remember this is an educational site, guys, so please read the legal disclaimers. Okay, I think my link is actually broken in the description, so I'll fix that today. But you can see we have playlists that have been created. Again, they're really sparse at this point in time, but I would assume over the next week or so they'll be full. Okay, a few rules to go, and we'll kind of get over all this stuff here. But a few rules: be positive, obviously, be respectful, encourage others, treat others the way you'd want to be treated. Okay, there's no foul language or comments in the chat, or you'll be banned from the channel. Okay, just there's no room for that. We just don't need that. Everybody's trying to learn at a different pace, and everybody has a different threshold of learning. So we want to make sure this is the best it can be for everyone. Okay, so if you get banned, no worries. We'll get you back in here. Just you have to create a new name to re-enter. But we want you to know we don't ban the person per se. It's always the behavior. So if you kind of have a rough day and you say some bad things and then you really don't meet them or what have you, you might get banned, you might not. But if you do, just hop back in and you'll be forgiven, and let's kind of start over. Okay. And remember, none of these trades are recommendations. Okay, to make a trade. None of these are recommendations. Just remember that. Okay. If we make a trade in the room, it's our trade, and assume we're going to lose it. If you decide to jump on, that's 100% on you, and you take full responsibility for that action. Okay. Enjoy the channel, and we want constructive criticism. We're a new channel, so we're just kind of putting this out there and learning the ways of the live stream on YouTube here. So we've got all the knowledge and all the proof that things work. Our method works, but just learning the new technology and actually getting out there and getting exposed and giving people the what they want, and is something we're gonna have to learn how to do. But we want you to know that our trading method is super simple, and you'll see that just with the charts you see right here. I just got a few things going on here. I don't do crazy indicators. There's no need for any of that. I mean, they look pretty. Trust me, I've had hundreds of indicators on my charts at one time, and that's not a joke. I mean, it was overloading the computer, but and it looked way too much obviously going on, but at the same time it was pretty to look at, but that didn't make me any points. That's the honest truth. That didn't make me any money. I just looked good. When somebody walked behind me and saw my computer, they're like, oh my gosh, how do you read all that? That's got to be so difficult. Yeah, it might boost your ego a little bit because you know what everything is, but it doesn't boost your trading account. So and that's the ultimate goal here, is to grow your account. Okay. And if you want to turn this trading thing into a full-time career, then it's about making things simple and getting back to the basics. Okay. So again, subscribe to the channel. We'll live stream every day, as long as you don't have technical difficulties or some issues maybe that came up yesterday for me. Had to be out, so we weren't able to live stream yesterday. But hopefully, as we get through this first week of technical issues, that will never be a problem, because one of us will always be able to run the live stream, is the plan here. Okay. All right. So with all that being said, there's a lot going on there, a lot of tongue twisting going on, a lot of talking, but with all that being said, we can kind of get rolling here and kind of just watch the charts here. We got a little bit of time before we got 15 minutes before the market opens. But let me kind of explain to you just briefly what we got working here. Okay, so you'll see right here, this is my ES chart. Okay, the S&P 500 E-mini chart. It's on a 5-minute time frame. Okay, that's what we trade off here. But as you saw earlier with this slide here in this picture, which you'll see right now, our challenge is for you to learn how to make 1 point a day. Okay, that's it, just 1 point. You might laugh at that and chuckle at that and say, 1 point, what's that going to do for me? Well, I'm going to show you as this channel goes on day by day what 1 point will actually do. Okay, and 1 point, it will add up in a very short amount of time if you let it compound. Just kind of let it run, and it's going to start off a little slow, but you'll find out within 3 months it's phenomenal. Okay, at that 1 point a day, so that's what we shoot for here. If we're going to lose, first off, that's a perfect scenario if you made 1 point every single day, and we'll have long stretches where we do that every single day and we net out a point every day. But our goal here is actually to net about 3 points a week net, and your account will grow exponentially as well. And we'll show you what that looks like, because right now you don't think that's very much, because 1 point's only $50. So you don't think a whole lot about that, but look at it this way. That's 4 ticks. Okay, that's going to be $50. So let's say you do have a great week and you go 5 for 5. Okay, well, that's $250 extra for the week. Not a lot, but now we have a month. We we win a point every day for a month. Well, that's now you're pushing $1,000 there. Minus your commission, you're still going to be at 970 something dollars. So it's a easy way to look at things, as far as it's not so easy to do sometimes, but if you take our method and be patient, it will come more often than not. Like I said, that's why we try to look at 3 points a week as our in-game goal, so to speak, for the week. But we'll have many weeks and months, quite honestly, that you'll make a point every day, or you'll average 5 points for the week or what have you because of some extra trades. So, but for right now, we just wanted you to take this 1 point a day challenge with us, and we can kind of grow this account together. So you might be asking some questions, well, what's how much money do I have to have in the account? Well, because we have a extremely tight stop, okay? We tell you, well, we don't tell you, first off, what we do. We use $1,000 per contract. And you're probably rolling over. If you're an experienced trader, you're probably rolling over right now, going, "That's crazy. That's way too much risk, way too much, not enough money, and all that good stuff." Well, I understand the thought process and maybe the way you're used to trading. That's absolutely not enough money. But we don't use more than 1 point stop here. Period. Okay, so and a 1 point stop is very tight. It's 4 ticks. We use a 1 point target and 1 point stop. Okay, so you have to be a better than 50% winners to make a profit. Okay, so it all comes down, and this is what's the beautiful thing about our method here. It all comes down to how good are you at entering trades. Okay, so we know we're going to be great at our stops because they're going to automatically set at 1 point. Excuse me, as well as our profits at 1 point. But we want to really fine-tune our entry points and our reasons for entry. Excuse me. So from a standpoint of being an experienced trader, you're probably going to sit there and say, "No way, it can't be done." And I'm proudly can sit here and tell you that it can be done, and we're proof of it. All three of us are proof that it can be done. It just has to be done. It has to be done very disciplined, with a lot of discipline, I guess is the better way to say that, and a lot of patience. Okay, you can't just be sitting here wanting to trade all the time. You got to wait for your perfect opportunities and entries to make the trade, and that's what you're going to learn here in this method if you chose to hang out with us. All right. Man, excuse me. Let me move around here just 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. Let me see here. All right. Hope I didn't lose you guys there. I'm trying to see what's going on here with my computer. Good morning, Soto. Glad to see you. You're back on the computer here, so that's great. That's good to hear you're still there. That's good. Everybody, you can still see my charts, no problem. Me moving around things on the screen here. Is that all right? Is that correct? All right. All right, good. Yeah, so that's good. So the latency issues are still kind of plaguing us a little bit, but not too bad. According to Soto, you can kind of see everything, which is good. Soto's our other trainer here, and our trader, I guess you could say, our instructor, him and Mitchell. But Soto, like I said, he'll be on the chat here, and we'll be talking. He'll be taking trades, and on his own as well, kind of with our method, and we'll talk through those. But Mitchell is not going to be here today, from my understanding. He's got some prior commitments that he has to make, so he won't make it with us today. But eventually you're going to hear Soto and Mitchell talk on here as well, so you don't just hear my boring voice and as I stumble around my words here, because I'm definitely not a professional speaker, which you have figured that out already. But here I'm here, and I'm here to do my best for you and kind of teach you. I've got all the knowledge I need and you'll need, and it's just a way of me being able to communicate it the best way I know how. And so it'll get better and better as we do this more often. I've trained quite a few people to trade very successfully, but I guess I've done it more on a one-on-one basis as face-to-face, so it was a lot easier to show things, and we had a conversation going on. So this is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have to learn how to relate this to you a little bit better, and eventually, hopefully, you'll start, guys will start doing some chat and start asking questions as the channel grows, because I want those questions asked, please. That way I know how the best way to help you. So look forward to that. But again, so let's go ahead and just jump into the charts here, okay? And I'll kind of explain to you what they are. And as I say, if you're new, you're going to be lost for a few minutes, but go to our channel and you'll learn the method from the ground up, from the foundation up. Kind of what I've got a couple videos on there right now, and like I said earlier, I'll have hopefully the rest of them in by the end of the week, to where we'll explain the method each step of the way, and then kind of putting it all together, okay? And what you see here will start making a lot more sense to you, even though it's not difficult. If you're new to the market, and or even if you're not, you've been around for a while, there's a philosophy and a mindset that we take into trading here that will kind of help you look at it a little bit differently as well. Okay, so let's kind of just look at the charts and kind of explain a little what's going on. Like I said, this is my ES 5-minute chart. Okay, these are candlesticks, obviously. If you're not familiar with candlesticks, I've got a video on my website that kind of explains that and how we use those. That's kind of part of our price action piece there. But we're very much price action traders here. Not a lot of indicators. So you'll see some things we do with volume. Right down here is volume. Okay, we'll kind of do a lot with that. Yeah, we do support and resistance and supply and demand areas here. We'll get into doing some market profile stuff, the VPOC things, and but we'll draw those on a different time frame and kind of show those and bring those in down the road. But for right now, we want to create what's called trade zones for us, and start looking for price action around those areas, and everything lines up. It will be a pretty good trade. Actually, right now, one's lining up pretty good right here, potentially, but we're not gonna trade it just yet. Had a trade earlier this morning that was great, but I won't go through that because it might just confuse you. But we'll kind of watch the market as it unfolds here, and kind of talk through what our thought processes are, and how we would be looking at making some money in this market and making our 1 point a day. Okay, that's the challenge, is 1 point a day. So we're going to do it for you here on this channel each and every day, live, so to show you that it can be done. And hopefully you guys are, if you like what you're seeing, then you'll jump on board and kind of learn it with us, and you can kind of live that dream of trading for a living if that's what you want, without all the stress. Okay, that's the plan here. We don't need all that stress. So yeah, as you can see, I'll just point this trade out real quick, just so you could have seen. I'm not sure if Soto actually took this trade, but this was a great trade right here. Okay, right here our entry would have been in this area right here. We would have had maybe 1 to 2 ticks at top, really 1 tick of heat. We've already made our point. We'd have been done for the day. That's how quick it happens. So Soto took the trade, which was great. So good job, Soto. So we'll call that the 1 point for the day. So good job. Let me remove that so it doesn't confuse you. Let me remove this whole thing here. remove it. Yeah, we'll remove that whole. I'll just put it back on the board here in a second. Go ahead and load that back up in here. That's one thing about some of these custom tools. If you try to remove them, sometimes the bones have to stay on there. It could cause a problem. Yep. So Soto, he's going to go ahead and tell us his trade. So he traded at 230 or 29.3225. Yep, that's perfect. Yep, that is absolute perfect. So Soto got in right here. So let me move this line here that was there for a reason. That helped kind of identify. That's where you see all this that's going on right here. It wasn't drawn because of this. This was drawn earlier from yesterday. So we already knew this area right here was going to be some area of indecision, some battling going on. And because of our method, we knew how to get into this trade and make it work to our advantage. So let me kind of just lay this out for you real quick here. We're going to remove this. So Soto got into this trade at the right place, absolute perfect spot right here. He got in at 32.25. Okay, we were in to go long here, and he took one tick of heat before this happened. It was the low was at 32. Even was the low there before he took the trade. So he took the trade and got his 1 point, and we went long there. So, and he made his point. He got in on the zone of 845, which was the perfect correct zone to get on, which I drew out for you already. But let me go ahead and just draw it again for you. So if you're not real sure, this is our zone here. This is our 845 zone. This wick hadn't come down at this point before that. It's dropped down since, but he already made his point before that ever came against him. But even at that point, even if this price already went down to that point, we didn't take more than 2 ticks of heat. So that's the beautiful thing about it. He only took 1 tick of heat, got his point, and he's done for the day. That's how quick it happens, guys. He had made his point within 25 seconds of his entry. That's the beautiful thing about the 1 point a day challenge. He'd be off and doing what he wants to do right now before the market's even opened. So that's a that's a real thing. That's what happens. For me, I'm a big golfer, so I'd have been off to the golf course already. I would have been shutting it down and hitting the links a little early if it were me. But that's just what I like to do. So and that's what I do quite often. But one thing we have committed to, so my time's going to change for a while because I have committed to this room and this live stream and to teach. And so you guys can learn this method so you can do the same thing if you choose to do. Whatever your hobby is, we're going to allow you to be able to, we're going to hopefully help you to be able to do that by just taking that 1 point a day, okay, and just getting that 1 point a day. When the trade opportunity is there and it's met all of our requirements that we have, then we know we'll take this trade. Win or lose, we took the right trade. Okay, we're just not going to get in and throw a dart at the board here and hope it sticks. This is not the way it works. All of our entries are calculated and for a reason, and they're very high probability. So excuse me, I got something going on in my throat this morning. So excuse me for that. But anyway, so just real quick there, that was a great trade by Soto. It was a perfect, absolutely perfect Titan Futures methodology trade. Very, very nice job, Soto. Good job. All right. So let's kind of go back to explaining really what the charts are here. Like I said, we have 5-minute candles here. All right, well, the market's open. Obviously, you can see it. Now, the movement right there in that big open candle, we took our money and ran. There's actually another opportunity that was taken, right? Could be taken, but it was not what we're wanting right now. Every piece of the puzzle is not setting up at this point. That's one thing you'll learn. We have 5 tools here, 4 to 5 tools. And we want to make sure all those line up. We can't have 2 of them line up. We can't have 3 of them line up. We have to have all 5 lined up before we go into the trade. We want high probability entries here, okay? Because our entries are so important because we have such a small stop of 1 point. Our entries are extremely important, okay? So we want to master the entry. So let's check that out. I mean, let's watch that, and you'll learn that while you're here, and you'll learn how that 1 point can be made with a tight stop. We talked about $1,000 account for this. It's an intraday trade only. We never overnight trade. We take one trade and we only trade 2 hours. That's going to be from the 8 a.m. or the 9 a.m. to 11 to 11:30 time frame New York wise. So it is a very small window, but it's the most action-packed window of the markets for us, and from a liquidity standpoint. So we want to trade during that time and learn to master the market during that time, because the one thing you'll learn about the ES market, if you don't know yet, is that the ES market has a personality, okay? And just like any market does, they all have their own personalities, and you want to learn to master that personality and learn to understand really what's happening. And for us, it's that 2 to 2.5 hour time frame in the mornings there that we want to become masters at and get to know it extremely well. And that way we can hit our 1 point and be done. It doesn't matter if it happens right away before the market open like Soto did, or if it's during market open. That's okay. We want to wait for our ideal trades and the right trades, and then we'll at that point execute, win or lose. Okay. So one thing to also remember is it's okay not to trade. Okay. We don't have to trade every day. We want to get our point and get out. But also we're not forcing ourselves to make that trade. Okay, that's one thing about becoming a very successful trader, is you'll learn to sit on your hands, and a good day is also no trades. Okay, so it's better than a losing trade because you forced it. Okay, so you're gonna have those days where you don't trade, and that's all right. You know, nothing wrong with that. That's part of being a very disciplined and successful trader. You know. I've always said successful trading is boring to an extent, okay, because you have to sit and watch and wait for things to set up properly to your method, and you have to be disciplined enough not to jump into a trade just because you want to. You know, your personality might say, I want to trade all as much as I can. I like to trade. I like the action, and that's great, and I understand that, but there's different opportunities for you to do that. But this is not one. We wait for the right opportunity. We don't take more than 3 trades a day. And we won't even take those additional trades usually until we're up in our account, you know, for the month. Pretty good. But for this 1 point a day challenge, I would suggest that you get your 1 point and head to the house. You know, get on out of here. You know, or go to the course, or go to the boat, you know, go on the water, go in the ocean, go on the lake, whatever you got to do there. Play with your kids or whatever you need to do. But I would suggest, very, very strongly suggest, be patient. But like I said, successful trading is boring at times, you know. So just kind of keep that in mind. You know, we'll kind of talk through that, the psychology of things, but that's part of being a disciplined trader. And anybody that's very successful in trading will tell you that you have to be patient and wait for the right opportunity. But once you got the right opportunity, you jump on it. Okay, so that's part of trading. So Soto says some of the best trades I've taken are the ones I didn't take, and that's perfect. That's some of the best trades I have taken are the ones I didn't take. You know, and that's a good statement, a very, very good statement there. So Soto said he sent me a chart. So let me jump on here and try to find that real quick. I hit one of his charts that he just made that point on. So let me see that, and if I can bring that in here, I will. So let me see here. Be good to try to look at that so you guys can see what's going on. So let me open that up here. Oh. Let me pull that off. Alright, so let me break these down. We'll kind of roll through those together here real fast. While the market's making a new high here for the day, or the intra-morning anyway, for what I can see briefly, but I'm not interested in that right now. Nothing for me there in the way we trade. Alright, so there's Soto's, one of his other, that's his entry and exits. Got one more chart, so let me pull this other chart up here. And we'll kind of run through these real quick together. All right, good. There we go. Okay. All right. So let me kind of just run through these one at a time. Even though the market's moving good, it's not ready for us yet. Oh, I just lost a lot of stuff here. Let me make sure all this is coming back out here. Excuse me. I don't know what I just did, but that's not what we want. There we go. So that's market back up. All right. So let me put this trade on here. Or let me show you this chart that Soto sent. All right, so this is Soto getting. It shows he's got into his target already. But let's go ahead and run this. Let me give you a different chart. Dang it! Should have put these together a little better when he sent them to me, but I didn't. So excuse me for that. This is real time, so there's no editing going on right now. So this is what you're going to see. Kind of fumble around a little bit, but that's all right. So here we go. Here's Soto showing where he entered the trade here at 29.32.25, like we said, based on our zone. You can see his zone's drawn there, which is great. His entry, and you can see he's entered at 29.32.25. Okay, so Soto's going to do this challenge with us here, one point a day challenge, starting with $1,000 in an account, and we'll show you the spreadsheet and have that grow, as well as the account proof, and have that grow, so you guys can see that's real. We're not making things up here. Okay, but you can see he's up 50 or half a point right now, in this at the present time. But you can see his target here is at 29.33.22, and his stop is at 29.31.25. So they're a point apart. He's got a point stop and a point profit target. Okay, entry is everything. All right, so let's check out the next one. All right, so here's his next one showing there. The price action is right at his profit target. So nothing's changed at this point. It's right here at his profit target. So it was perfect entry. Very quickly this has happened here. Okay, these are 5-minute candles, but that trade took him a whole matter of about 25 seconds, and he made his point. Okay, as you can see here. So good job there, Soto. And then I'll bring in the last one here that shows target filled at 29.33.25. Target filled. So good job there, Soto. Good job. All right, so far so good. 1 for 1, which is good. So we'll kind of keep watching here. So if you're a breakout trader, you probably jumped on this right here, and you got stopped out. There's reasons for that. We don't do that. Or if you jumped in here, you might not be stopped out. You might have your stop all the way down here somewhere, which is another thing we don't do. We don't put stops down. We don't have big ranges like that. I mean, if you have your stop right there, if you entered in here, and where you should have put your stop as a breakout trader would have been right here. That's 6.5 points almost. Okay, by the time you take commission, that's 6.5 points. No, we don't do that. That's a way to kind of hurt yourself pretty quick. You know, that's talking about blowing up an account. That'll do it very quickly. Okay, if you're going to be a breakout trader, there's ways to be breakout trader, and but that's not one to do it, especially on that kind of a width of an opportunity. But we don't do breakout trading here. So as Soto says right here, he likes to only risk 2 to 5% of his account, which is correct. That is a 2 to 5% of the account. Yeah, that's going to be a $50 stop loss, basically a $50 profit and a $50 stop. Okay, that's 1 point on our $1,000. So you're saying 5%? My Lord, that's a big risk. Well, it's not when you learn to enter the trades properly, and you're always going to keep that 1 point stop. It's not as bad as it sounds, but you're going to find out that as you become very successful in your entries, and you're making 5% a day, your account will compound and grow extremely fast. If you say 5% a day, that's unrealistic. Well, is it? I mean, you just saw it done live. You know, so you saw 5% growth. That was $50 on $1,000 $1,000 account there. So 100% doable, and it's done every day. So by somebody, and we like those somebodies to be us. Like I said, on Monday we did 6 points between the team, and everything will always be between the team here. And there's times I might not trade just because I'm talking and lecturing here or teaching you, but Soto or Mitchell, they'll be taking the trade for us that we as a team would have taken. So that point, it will be brought in by somebody, I can tell you that. So because we're so close and always being on the same areas for our trade, we might not be at the exact same tick price, but we're going to be in the exact same area. I can promise you that. So it's the method. The method requires you to be that way. So it's almost a fail-proof situation there, which is great. But we might have a little bit different risk tolerance based on our method and our zone. We might have somebody be a little, like Mitchell's a little bit more conservative than Soto and myself, but he's also a little newer to the method. I mean, he's been doing it for a while and has done extremely well and making hundreds of percent growth in his account by doing just this method. So he knows it can be done, but he tends to be just a little bit more conservative, and he might only take one tick of heat usually, where Soto and myself might take 1 to 2 to 3 ticks. But we're all in the same area, and that's the good thing to watch here. We're all in the kind of the same area when we're going to trade. Okay, so let's kind of back out of here just a little bit and look at some other areas that are going on here, just so we can kind of keep up to date on the market. Let me extend out my days here. Let me just run them to 50 real quick so I can kind of look a little bit further back and into this area, what's going on. There's a reason for everything here, guys, so you'll know there's a reason for everything. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of, just so I have a reference of where we're at and what could happen and what's going on here. And as you can see, yeah, we got some good rejection there. So let me do this here and this here, and I'll explain why I'm doing that in just a minute. Yeah, come on. Alright, so let's kind of go back into present real time. Alright, we got some rejection in that area. Change this to a little bit different color. Kind of differentiate what I'm doing here. Let's just make this a Dodger Blues font. Apply that. And maybe even another one right here. Okay. And if you're new here, guys, if you're interested in the trading software I'm using, it's called NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader is a great trading software that we use and really enjoy. So we actually had another trade just set up there. As I was marking up, I missed it, but that's okay. It was very quick to happen, but it was another good trade back in our zone, actually. But it was a little bit different zone drawn there, but it still worked out beautifully. We got our point there if we wanted it. So volume is a little bit high, but we also know it's a very volatile time right now with the market being freshly open, but we'll see the rejection. That rejection is happening right there for a reason. That's not just at random, guys. So we'll teach you how to learn where these rejection points are, okay? There's a big reason for those. Both from a long standpoint and a short standpoint. Rejection wicks are there for a reason. Okay, and I do have a candlestick chart up that can be watched on our channel there, that you can kind of learn a little bit of why rejection wicks and why we trade candlesticks and what they mean as far as price action goes and momentum. It's kind of the first leg in learning the foundation. So I do have that on the channel right now as part of the method. So definitely check that out if you got time. So it said he had another entry at 29.3275, and it got touched but didn't get picked up. That's exactly right. It didn't get picked up. That was a good spot to have it, and it just didn't get picked up, and that's okay. Not a big deal, right? Not a big deal at all. But we'll just kind of keep watching the market here. So what you see on the left, on the far right hand side here, because I haven't explained that yet, is a time and sales window. So that's just telling us all the orders that are coming in and going out, whether they're long or short at that particular price range. So you'll see these numbers to the right here. Well, the first column here is the bid, and the second column is the ask. Okay, and you'll see that here at the top. But the number to the right, these 1s, 3s, 5s, 7s, 12s, 30s, 40s, 12s, 15, 11, all these numbers right here, these are contracts. Okay, these are individual retail trader contracts right here. When you start seeing big blocks coming in at 300, 200, 400, 500, you start seeing those come in. Those are going to be your big boys popping around in there, dropping in charts, which is the kind of money we want to follow. But for our method here, we can just see what a lot of the frenzy's about, so to speak, and when we kind of get into our areas, you'll start to see these numbers pick up in our direction, and that tells you that's where the big money was sitting, or large retail traders, or some institutions were sitting there with orders to be picked up, and that's what you're going to get all the rejection and out of the areas that we trade. Okay, so just kind of watch through that. You can kind of keep that on. It's kind of busy, which is kind of makes it fun, makes it more exciting versus just watching just the chart, because that can get very mundane and boring, like I said, and unfortunately people want action. So, and eventually they'll learn to, as you become successful at trading, or want to become successful at trading, you'll come back to remember that I stated the fact that successful trading is boring. So this little time and sales window on the right kind of keeps the visual aspect of your brain turning, I guess you could say, and kind of fun. So that's the reason I keep that up there. I use it a little bit, not a ton, but I like to just keep it up there for purposes of the actual live stream. Just like I said, just to kind of keep you visually intrigued or interested. Okay. But the real money's made right here on this chart, guys. That's where the real money is made. And it's doing it very patiently in the right way. So you can see that our areas that we drew there for other reasons, but the area that was drawn there has a lot of, in this particular case, is a very good demand zone. Okay, it's a very good demand zone here. And so I actually should have drawn it with a different color. So let's do this one now, since we have a new zone. I should have done it with a green there as a demand for long. So that's kind of how I usually do my zones. If it's going to be a short supply area, a short supply zone, I'll draw a red box. But when I want to have a demand box, I'll draw it to be green, meaning we're looking for a long entry there. That's what that will mean. So forgive me for not doing it on this one. I just drew the box because it was needed to go quickly, and I was just drawing it to draw it. But that's for your knowledge going forward. Green boxes are for we're looking for long entries, and red boxes are we're looking for short entries, from supply, or green for demand. All right. So the good thing about it, we've gotten our points. We're done. So we could be headed out of here already if we wanted to, but we're going to hang out through this live stream, talk, educate, and if we have some more trades come up that are perfect in our very high probability trades, we'll go ahead and take them. That's what we're here to do, is teach you, and so you can see in real time that it happens. So hang with us. We'll watch. Just keep watching, and ask questions if you got any you want to ask. Don't be shy, and we can kind of go from there. So thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all being here very much so. So please like and subscribe. Like the video and subscribe, please, when you get a chance. That way you can get, if you subscribe and you kind of hit that notification bell, you can kind of get notified every time we put out a new video, which we'll be doing a lot of educational stuff here. So you'll have videos probably every day, and to be quite honest, at least at the beginning here. We want to put out a lot of good content, so we'll try to be putting out videos every day, but we'll do live stream every day if possible, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11:30 Eastern time. Okay. All right. So we're just kind of watching price here. All right, it's about to be 10 o'clock, and if you've been around the market very long, you know 10 o'clock is usually kind of a turning area. The 9:45 to 10:15 area is kind of usually a turning area that will be kind of give us the momentum and the direction for the day. So we kind of watch that. Big boys tend to put a lot of money in at that time for whatever reason. So it's about to be 10 o'clock New York time. So kind of keep an eye on that. So it says, when you start to trade or when first learning this method, which is the first indicator you use to guide you in making your decision to take a trade? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. There's kind of our first thing is always price action, okay? We always got to watch price action. Learn the candles. We'll learn what they're doing, what the wicks mean, what the bodies mean. Learn that. Pick that up first, okay? But we will, prior to that, we've kind of already drawn our kind of support and resistance areas, and already are looking to draw zones based on those areas of supply and demand, based on support and resistance areas. But then when price action starts to come into those areas, we start watching price action and our volume, okay? And once all those start lining up the way we want those to line up, at that point we look to where we're going to execute our trade, where's the best entry for our method and our personality, and then we'll put our order in there, okay, at that area. Someday we might get into put the order in prior to the price getting there based on a previous candle, or we might have to get in intraday on that. Intra-bar on that candle, okay. So we might have an intra-bar trade going on based on volume. So there's a couple things to look at, but our tools of the trade are price action, volume, support and resistance, supply and demand, and our trade zones. And I'll introduce order flow with VPOC a little bit later on. I think it's just a little bit too much to overwhelm you right here at the beginning, but there'll be lessons on that, and that'll kind of be the final capping piece of the method there. But for now, we want you to learn the basics, okay? We want you to learn what PA is and price action and how to read that price action. Volume, what does volume mean? How to marry that with price action to give you an indication of what the market's getting ready to do. Then support and resistance with supply and demand zones, okay? Then as you add all these pieces together, you're starting to put this puzzle together that can be very, very lucrative for you. So that's how we will approach this way of trading, based on the method. And the method is very simple to that. We don't have, we don't have a lot of different indicators. So what we're going to watch first is we would have already drawn our support and resistance areas and our supply and demand zones, okay? And then at that point we watch price action with the candlesticks. We look for wicks, bodies, start understanding what those mean around these areas of support and resistance, and then we get into volume, and that's kind of our last trigger to say, okay, volume is met. That was our last piece of the puzzle. Where are we going in on this trade? What's the perfect price entry for us on this trade based on our method? And knowing we got a point stop we have to protect. So at that point we look at where's the best place to get in that we most likely order flow is still going to pick up for our trade. So that's kind of the steps that we'll go through to do that. So Soto, I appreciate you asking those questions. For people that might be scared to ask the question, or people that might be watching this on a replay, and and had these same kind of questions. So I appreciate you asking those, and we'll kind of walk through them and talk through them. Okay, but the reality is there's just not a whole lot of different things to learn in this method. So you'll hear a lot of the same stuff over and over, regurgitated, so to speak, maybe a little different slant on it, and that'll be great. One thing that's going to be great when Soto and Mitchell actually can start coming in and talking and helping teach on the channel and on the live stream is they have a different perspective. They're both younger than I am, 30 somethings. You know, I'm here in mid 40s. You know, been doing this quite a bit longer than they have, but they've been doing it for quite a while and they've become very successful. So with them being younger mindset, and they're going to have a little bit different aspect, being newer, and they're not. They had one thing that was great to them. One thing I truly believe why they've picked it up so well and so quickly is they're fairly new to trading. They didn't have to deprogram years and years and years of stuff that's just nonsense. Okay, that's one thing I really truly believe 100% is why they've gotten it so quickly, and they've done we've grown their account thousands of percent based on just taking this 1 point a day, like I've taught them how to do, and they've done it very, very well. So they're going to bring a different aspect to the whole live stream, which will be great. So they might answer it a little bit different, but one thing you will find a very common theme in is that we're all going to be talking about these same tools. Okay, there's no introducing a new indicator here. We're not going to introduce stochastics, MACDs, CCIs, RSIs. We're not going to do any of that. They're not going to be introducing any of that kind of stuff because that's just not part of the method. That's one of the great things that I know I can trust them on to do their part of the teaching in this live channel is the fact that they're going to be teaching you on the same exact tools that I teach you on, that I've taught them on, and they become extremely successful on. And they're all very, very confident because of the fact that they've built their accounts over thousands of percent doing just this particular method. So it's 1 point a day. You know, they might trade a couple more times because the method is there, and they're new traders and they love the chase and the hunt, you know, of the whole market, which is very fun and exciting, and that's great. So they might take another couple of trades than I do, but you'll find that they're only going to take the trades if they line up. If they're not there, then they won't take those trades. And that's what they've done great on with the discipline that they've learned thus far is, hey, I want to trade, but I'm disciplined enough not to trade. Okay, not to trade when our method has not told us to trade. Okay, so that's good. So I look forward to them jumping on. Hey, Paul, how you doing, man? Glad to see you jumping on here. Good job. So Paul made a point at 34.25. Really? So let's check out where would that be here? 34.25. He jumped in, made a point. Okay. All right. I can kind of see why you did that there. So good job making your point. Good seeing you, sir. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. I look forward to you jumping on board here and kind of watching as well. And making some trades if that's what you want to do there. All right. So let's see here. I hope all my blabbering doesn't make. I hope all my blabbering doesn't kind of confuse you or kind of make it to where you want to go somewhere else. But I'm just telling you the truth. We're not gonna. I'm not gonna fill you with a bunch of fluff as far as indicators go, and just tell you, you know, I'm a Superman when it comes to trading. You know, and only I can do it, and that's just not the case. You know, just not the case. Let's see. But if I can do it, you can do it. I mean, I know that's kind of a cliche-ish thing to say, but I can't be more honest with you on this than that. You know, the method's going to be easy. It's like I said, and I say all the time, and I will continue to say day in and day out. The method is easy. The person is difficult. Okay? The person will make all the difference in making it or not making it in trading. if you have a hard time with your with your emotions, which you will, we all fight them. I still fight them, but I've learned to control them pretty well at this point in time after 20 years. And but I've had to go. I've had some different challenges maybe than you do, but I believe that as long as you can kind of control your emotions, you'll be very successful at trading, especially with our method, because it's proven over and over with guys that have a lot of years experience relearning how to trade, and people that are just brand spanking new, never even knew what the markets were, and they've become successful at it. So, but it all comes down to the emotion. It's not the method. The method's there. There's lots of different methods that work. I just believe mine is the easiest to do that. But this is a method that's easy to learn, very doable to make a full-time living, and change your life if you want, or change your career. This is the potential to do that, but it all comes down to you as the person. Okay, I can't say it any more than that. It's just that simple. You got to get control of your emotions to be successful in any kind of trading. It doesn't matter. If for some reason you're struggling doing that, well, look down in the description. We got a kick butt auto trading product that will take over for you in the same method here, but it's on a little bit different philosophy of trading. But it's something I will send you parameters each and every day, and you can just set it in there and go to work or go do what you want to do, and it's going to trade for you. And it will make your money. You'll see, if you look down in the description, you can see click on the link there, and you can actually see the results from January 2019 to date to the second week of August. I'll update it at the end of the month of August, but that gives you almost a present current time from a week ago, and you'll see all the trades it's taken, all the money it's won, all the money it's lost, and what the net profits are, how many points has been made. So it's something, if you just can't get a hold of your emotions, or you want to go ahead and start making money while you're trying to learn a method, you can check that out. Okay, that's going to be my only plug for the Auto Trader. I'm not here to try to sell you on the Auto Trader. I think it will sell itself over time, but I'm here to teach you how to trade on a day trade situation if you'd like to do that, and this is the method to do that. But if you just find yourself have a really hard time controlling your emotions right away, then that's an option for you if you choose to do so. but this method here will grow slowly. The Auto Trader is going to grow much quicker, grow your account much quicker, just because of the fact that our reward to risk management is a lot different, and we will go 3 to 4 or 5 times our risk and make that money. So our winners are much larger than our losers. Okay, so you'll see we'll win 50 to 60% of our time on our Auto Trader, and we're making a lot of money in the Auto Trader because of the whole risk management and money management that's built into the algorithm there. So like, again, if that interests you, check it out. But until that point, we'll talk through this method here. So Soto, tell me real quick, what do you feel what's going on right now? Perfect timing. Let me see your question there. Question: we have a zone at 9:30 for demand to go long. Yeah, that's right. It's drawn there on the chart. We have used it already, and in my case, I didn't get picked up, but it was already triggered. What would you tell someone who sees another trade coming into this zone? My rule, okay, my personal rule, and kind of what I'll teach you, it's not part of the method, but it's part of the rule, is first entry into the first price action into our zone is the best. Okay, I don't want to, I would not advise taking, the second time would be okay, but the third, fourth time, no, for sure not. Because you can see right here in real time what's happening. It's just busting through that zone. Even though it was a great demand zone, and we got our point, or could have got our point very easily there into the first movement, depending on where you had your entry. But even at the second, so this would have been the first, okay, area that came into our zone. Okay, we could have had our point pretty easy there, and this would have been the second area that came into our zone. This candle here. After that, I don't touch it. No way, shape, or form do I touch 2 and 3 or 3 and 4 and 5 entries into our zone. We got rejection still out of that zone, meaning there's still a lot of buyers right here buying and gave us good rejection wicks, but it's just a high, high success of failure. Okay, I should say it's a very low probability of winning when you start getting into third and fourth entries into zones. So our entries are always going to be off of first price action into the zone, or maybe the second based on a deeper movement into our zone that where there's orders still to be picked up to go in the direction of our original zone, if that makes sense. So that's how we want to look at trading. So our first entries into the zone is our prime. Our second is prime, but it's subprime, if that makes sense. And then the third, fourth, fifth after that we don't even look at. Okay, and this is a perfect example for the fact that our fourth entry starting to go in, our fifth entry, it finally just busted right through our zone. So it would have been an easy, quick stop out, and we just don't. That's not what we're doing here. Okay, we're not trying to take every trade that comes into the zone. So if we made our first point after our first entry in, awesome. So if we wanted to stay in for a second one because we're up on our accounts or what have you, and it's a perfect area and it goes deeper into our zone, then I'm not opposed to taking that if it's the right situation. But after that, it's definitely a no-go, okay, for our method here, because this is what's going to happen right here. You'll see this happening right here. We got to put a bigger circle on that for you. This is the kind of stuff that will happen, and we don't want to happen. That's going to eat your account up very quickly, especially when you're trading at 5%, right? So we got to be perfectly at our entries. We got to be very good at those, so we don't want to mess with them too much. Okay. Well, we do have another zone, and I think Soto hit it. I hope he got into it. I think his actually other chart showed it was already drawn there. So I hope he got his trade right there, because that was a perfect trade entry for another area right here. This zone at 735 was very nice, and you see he got a good entry into that. Whether he got into it or not, I don't know, but that would have been a very good entry. So he got his point, took one tick of heat. Very good job. Very, very good job. So he got in at 29.50. Perfect. Right here where my cursor's at. Right where this black spotted line is the ideal entry point, and he got into it. Took 1 point of heat, and he got his point. So Soto, send me that chart then, man, if you got it, so I can show that again, just to show proof that, hey, this is not after the fact stuff. This is all good stuff that's being done, and these trades are happening, okay? And anybody can do them. So good job there, Soto. Let me take a look at something else. All right, good job, good job. All right, all right. Okay. So good job, guys. Good job. So you can see great price action here going into our zones. What we need, volume's low, which is great coming into that. We know the volume's not where I really want it to be, but it's lower. So we knew we were going to get some rejection out of this zone here, which we've got. It's not the most ideal perfect picture, but it's a very high probability picture that took place there at the right time. Again, I just want to say good job there. But you can see how the zone's now getting busted very quickly. Okay. Our trade was right here, just so you know. Our trade was right there, right in that entry right there, and we went up. We made our point. We made our point from here up and got out. So that's the beautiful thing. It was done. Even though this second, look at this, we just talked about this second entry back into this zone, it just busted it. Blew it through. Even though there's still a lot of buyers in this area, it blew right through our zone. So we wouldn't have entered into that second zone there just for the fact that volume didn't told us it wasn't a good spot to go in. So. Yep. All right. Another zone being drawn here. It's potential right here. Oh, I'm gonna go upside down in this zone here. Look at that one. Yeah, that's a good zone. Look, pretty good zone right there as well. So we'll kind of watch price action get to this zone here before we ever set up the trade. We'll wait for it to kind of come into our area right here. Let me get rid of that. That's not what I want. Let me draw the lips here. So we're looking for a trade coming back into this zone somewhere right around in here. Alright guys, so we'll kind of be patient and wait for it. When we have a lot of the empty black zone area here that's empty and black, that's just kind of no man's land for us, so we don't want to do any kind of trading in that area. So we're going to wait till price gets into our zones that are predetermined area that we know either buyers are sitting in this case or sellers are sitting in this case. So just keep watching that. This is going to take place here pretty soon. It's 10:15 basically, so we got roughly another 45 minutes to an hour, hour and 15 minutes. We're going to watch the chart. But thus far, you've seen 2 successful trades. Soto said he sent me his email, so let me check that. Let me see if I can pull it out here. Alright, let's see here. Open a new tab. Alright, so let me open up a new thumbnail, I guess. I need that to be bigger. I can't see that. That one's not going to work. Yeah, so I got what you sent me there. That's the picture of your account, and the overall trade is not going to blow up. I need it a little bit. Just send it to me in normal form where I can blow it up. That makes sense. I can make it bigger. Alright. Well, you can see on this picture here of Soto, he has his entry point here, right? Entry point's right there. Or actually, entry point's right here, excuse me, at 29.50. And he exited it at 20.30.50. I'm struggling talking, guys. Sorry. 20.30.50. So he got his point there. Very nice job. He'll probably resend me something where you can see his account kind of growing, because I had him reset his account and just put it to 1,000 for the purposes of the trade room, so everybody can watch it and see it grow. So, but good job. So that's your second point of the day. Good job. Guys, the purpose of doing this is just so everybody can see it. All right, everybody can see that this is real. It's not us making things up. See, here's his account, but I don't think you can see it very well. It's not going to be large enough, and I can't blow it up and make it any bigger. But you can see his zones are drawn there nicely, and he's made his point. Or no, that's actually my chart drawn there, right there. He's taking a picture of my chart, so good job. All right. So, would you use the 10 supply zone or the 10:05 supply zone, or neither? Okay. Well, let's look and see. There's a 10 o'clock. Yep. Or 10:05. I would definitely be using the 10 o'clock right here, and I'll draw that out for you so you can see that. You're going to get some entry might be right at the bottom of that 10 o'clock entry because of the 10:05 area, but let me draw that out so you can see what we're talking about. This would be a sell zone right here. This would be a supply zone. Okay. He's asking, would I use this zone here at 10 o'clock or would I use the 10:05? I'm going to use the 10 o'clock because it matches all of our rules. So does actually technically, so does the 10:05, but I just like the 10 o'clock zone a little bit better to actually draw the supply zone. But with that being said, because of the 10:05 also meeting criteria, I really got to watch price action and volume into this zone. There's a very high probability chance, based on what I'm seeing here, that our entry is going to be right at the beginning of that. Probably 29.3350 would be an entry area, very quickly to 29.34. So I would think in that area right there, and conservatively you could put it kind of right in the middle there, but to be aggressive I'd put it on the 33.50 based on this is we're going to watch volume coming into this area. Everything else matches, but we got to watch volume coming into this area of this 10 o'clock zone. It's so-called the 10 o'clock sell supply zone. We got to watch that. So let's watch price coming into that area. Okay. Another thing you guys will learn that it might not even get into the supply area up here. Okay. Because of this buy zone right here, this demand zone, okay, has been broken. I think we're going to probably going to get a bounce right into this area, to be honest with you. Since I'm looking at the chart right here, I think we might get more of a bounce play in this area somewhere, and it's probably going to be because of. Let me change this circle here and make it my template. Make that my default. That way I don't have to keep getting rid of the green opacity. But I would think to say if we come back into this area, I would say we're going to bounce and come back out pretty strong down from this area here. So let me kind of draw a line of what I'm talking about here. So let me do that right here. I'll get the right one here in a minute. There we go. I think we got an area here. We're going to come back down. Okay. So let's kind of watch. Let me move this over here. We got an area here. I also have an area up here in the supply zone, somewhere around in here. So now we're getting back into this demand zone's coming active right now. So let's take a watch of that in real time. We're actually starting to see some plays going on here. So based on this volume, I'll be looking for this thing to bounce here and go long. But let me kind of take a look over here real quick and see. Yeah, so I'm looking at trading around in this area here, around a 24.975 area. I'm looking to get in this area right around in here, okay, to go long. The volume still controls itself and stays low like that coming into this. So we're starting to see rejection into these candles here coming into this area. I'm going to start looking for price actions, obviously slowing down. So I'm going to start looking for an entry into this area. So we're just now touching our zone. My entry would be at this point right now. I'm at 25, so it touched. I don't know if it's going to trigger or not, but that would be my entry at this point in time. So we'll see if it kind of gives us an entry, ticks us in. There it goes, ticks us in. So we would have been in at 25 right here on this trade. We've taken 2 ticks of heat, but let's see if this will kind of give us any kind of profit there. Or 2 ticks in the profit, but that's not enough. We need to get 4, 5 ticks to get our point. So we might be in just a little prematurely, but we're gonna have to watch and see that. Oh, actually, yeah, we are. I'm not listening to myself. That should have been at 24.50, even though it hasn't got to that point yet. 2450 would have been the best entry into that. I don't have my, I should have my account attached here, and I don't have it. So now at 24, this is our entry right here, and we were taking a stop. Okay, not a big deal. We'd have been stopped out. Well, that's part of it. That happens. Volume's still kind of high, so that zone's not holding very strong at this point. We've got a lot of action. Let's see here. Yeah, would have busted right through that zone. So this is kind of good real-time stuff here, guys. So this is what happens real time. None of this stuff's made up. The zone holds. So it's been a little bit aggressive. It looks like. Had I got in when I saw where I was supposed to get in at 2450, it would have got me. It would have stopped me out there. But that's okay. So that's fine, just for watching the trade. So Soto says I didn't trade, or will trade at the zone. Just not liking it for me. Busted out on me. All right, yeah, that's okay. That happens. That happens. That's part of it. It's a good zone area, but there's a lot of congestion going on. So it's really a matter of watching the volume. Volume was low, but it's been picking up a little bit. So we're probably a little premature into that zone, into that area, and that's okay. That's part of trading. Okay. So Soto said he didn't like the volume. That's smart. Good. And you can see it's going back and forth right there. So not bad. Man, not a problem if you didn't like the volume, because it worked out, but it wasn't good. Busted through us. If I'd have entered in at 2450, like I said, I'd have been stopped out right to the tick, and that's okay. That happens. We just kind of have to watch and see if price is going to continue to bounce out of this area to kind of take a breather, or if it's going to continue to go up. Right now, volume's getting stronger, so you would think it's going to go down, but volume to the downside is increasing, which means momentum is continuing to go short here. So we gotta be patient here and see what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen yet, so let's kind of watch it and see. Keep our eye on it. See, I sent you that email with the account info. Okay, so let me check it out. Let me go and check it out. All right, there we go. So we can kind of see, yeah, there's Soto right there. All right, good. So you can see he started with $1,000 today, okay, in his account here for you to see. And then you can see he's made 2 trades, paid that in commission. Total net profit today at $92. So good job. 2 trades, 2 fills. Nice job, Soto. That's a nice job. So good job. All right. Not make these so thick, I guess. There you go. Make those a little softer. Alright, looks like we bust through that zone. So there you go. Volume still pushing down. This is a perfect example why all the pieces of the puzzle have to be there. So All right, let's see here. It says, Soto said, thank you. I think it's good to understand that losing is part of the process. Absolutely, it's part of the process. It will always be part of the process. Anybody that tells you they win 100% of the time, run. Just don't even ask any questions, run. Because that's just not the case. Every professional trader in the world, including myself and these guys now, because when you start trading for a living and making money in the market, you can consider yourself a professional trader because you're doing it for money. Okay, but every successful professional trader, I should say, loses, and loses quite often. But it's a matter of how quick you lose and how you control your losses that will be all the difference in the game. Okay, we will lose about 8 to 15% of the time. That's correct. Maybe even a little bit more than that, but over time. But even as long as you're winning more than 50% of the time, 55 to 60% of the time with this method, you're going to make money. Okay. So if you lose a trade, don't be discouraged and stick to the method. Trust it, follow the rules. Exactly right. Trust it and follow the rules. That's exactly right. Good job, Soto. That's exactly right. Trust it, follow the rules. All right. Gotta take all this stuff off the charts now. Would you consider using 715 zone for the demand zone to a supply zone? Oh, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. So since what he's saying now is since price has busted through this zone, he's asking would we use this zone now as a supply zone, and that is absolutely correct. Since we've busted through here, will we now use this area right here as a supply? And that is yes, we will. We expect price to come back into this area, and now that this zone has been busted, we're going to turn it into a supply zone. So let me do that. Watch this. It's just a quick switch of the tag there, and we can turn it into a supply zone. So absolutely, that's what I suggest is going to happen. That's what I think will happen at this point. Okay. So let me fix this in properties. Say this is a template, my default template. Save, yes, apply. Okay, good. There we go. No way, it's not as bad. Remove that. So we'll watch and see what it does here. Volume, if it decides to come back into this area now that we consider a supply area, because what this means is all of this whole area right here with all this sideways action, okay, has turned into a area of defeat for demand at this point in time. At this point in time in the auction, okay. So this now has become a supply area of supply, meaning that when price comes back in here, we're most likely going to get a bounce out of this area, okay. Yep. The new area I would take a trade in this area if I were to take a trade would be anywhere from 24 even to 24.50. Okay, anywhere from here to there, I would put my entry. Not to say it couldn't just come in right there at 23.25 and drop, but I would put my entry into this area right here where this line's at 24 to 24.50. I'd be into that spot right there somewhere when it decides to come back up, because it will come back up, guys. This is a big move down. It will come back up. It's got to breathe. This is just, when you have a big move like this, guys, this just tells me that it's first of all, it's extended, right? This big move down here is extended, okay? So it validates some other things for us. So now I would look for this to take a breather, is a good way to say it. Price take a breather and come back into this area and then drop, okay? That's what I would suggest is going to happen. We're going to have this kind of pattern right here. We're going to end up getting this lightning bolt pattern most likely out of here, something along those lines, I would assume, when it decides to come back up. We might not be here when that happens, but this is what I assumed is going to happen. Is price is going to slow down. Okay, it's going to start getting some bullish candles back into this area, but the volume to the upside is going to be very low. Okay, and then we're going to get into this area of supply, and then volume is going to pick up to go short again. So we'll get into an entry to go back short. That's what I believe is going to happen here. But that's what my method says is going to happen, but that doesn't mean it will happen. Okay, let me be clear on that. That can change. So what we're going to do is just kind of sit here and wait and watch. And if our method trade sets up, then we're going to take it. If it doesn't, then we just kind of watch. So we can't predict the market. Nobody can. Nobody predicts the market. So we want to take high probability trades in the market based on our method and what's proven over time and time again to happen, because it's based on the personality of the market itself. We know that tends to happen. So we want to take trades based on that, not because we think something's going to happen. We want to take trades based on what we know to happen based on the market's personality. If it's acting like it should happen, then we know these trades are going to present themselves. So we just have to wait for all of our pieces of the puzzle to line up and be put in place, and then at that point we can make the trade. Okay, so just kind of watch. We got a lot of a lot of momentum right there in that kind of a bar right there. A lot of momentum. This whole bar, for the whole 4 minutes that this bar has been going, has been pushing down with a lot of volume. So that would make you think, okay, what's down here? Where is it trying to go? Where is it trying to go? Well, let's see here. Our next area probably where that might try to go is going to be here. A lot of volume there that could bounce right in here, and there's a reason it bounces right here because of this here. If it bounces, makes sense why that would bounce into an old area of supply. It's turned into demand right here. It's kind of hard to see that back here, but this is what I'm referring to, this area right here. That's an old area of supply. Okay, that has been busted by this candle here, but it's turned into possible demand right here. Okay, but a little more real time here. We got some really small supply right here. So we're just going to put a line right here for right now into this area. Okay, we can kind of, it's a rough area, so we'll kind of just pull in this whole area that we'll start watching when it gets into, if it gets into this area, we'll kind of start watching it. Okay. All right. So we got going on right now. Actually, we got one right here I didn't kind of miss. So let me take a look at this real quick here. Yep, sure enough, we got an area right here of supply. Of demand. The area of demand right here. Let me move that to this area right here. So that was our area of demand. Let's see, did it respond out of that? It sure did. Look at that, it bounced right out of that area of demand from a previous time frame. So, what'd that tell you? That's pretty sweet right there. All right, that's pretty sweet. So nice little bounce out of that area right there. It's about 1.25 points area of demand that it bounced out of. And looks like it might come back out and get it, but that's okay. If you would have put it in here, you would have got your point, looks like. But we just like to see how nice it is for it to start reacting around our areas we think should react out of. All right, it's pushing pretty strong, so it's not done pushing yet, guys. Which we knew it wasn't done because of the high volume there. We knew that wasn't done. So let's check out this area. All right, let's check through this area here. It really be come down that small of an area. Well, we can keep going back as far as we need to go back. That's one thing about supply and demand. It's going to go find where the orders are at, where it wants to be. So it's kind of a hard question to answer. We just have to learn and watch and not be quick to take action. That's the reason we don't take trades, just because of an area that we draw out. We have to wait to go back and find the SD zones based on volume. All that has to come into play, guys, before we take a trade. We just can't have, that's a perfect example why we just can't have one piece of the puzzle. You know how we blew through this trade right here, even though it bounced here and rejected a little bit because it was a good zone, but it pushed through it, but we didn't have volume, so we didn't have all the pieces of the puzzle. Okay, it's extremely important to have all the pieces of the puzzle, especially when you have a fast moving market like this and you're trying to catch an area where you can get into the trade. We don't want to fool ourselves to saying, oh, this is a perfect zone of demand or supply, and yet all of our pieces aren't together. Our checklist is not being checked off. We don't have a check mark beside every piece that we need of our tools. So you can see why that could happen. It could knock you out real quick. We had a piece of it, but we didn't have all of it. Okay. Nice little rejection here, but volume's lower, yeah, and it could have bounced, but it still isn't an ideal trade for us. We had a couple pieces of the puzzle there, but not all of it. So we want to make sure we have all the pieces, because our goal here is not to take as many trades as we can take, right? It's to take the best trades, just the best trades. So that's what we want to do. Is we want to wait for the best trades. So just be patient. They'll show up for us. Trust us. Trust me, they'll show up. We just got to be patient. All right. We're going to keep on watching. That's a pretty nice rejection wick thus far, isn't it? That candle could still fill all the way up to the bottom, but we don't, probably not likelihood now with a minute left, but this could be one heck of a great rejection candle. Shows that buyers are basically said at this point, stop. We're not going any lower. We have come to the part of the auction where we have met buyers in this auction that takes place every day. The market is just a big auction, and I will explain that later in other videos a lot more in depth so you can understand that. But you have to look at the market as an auction, because that's what it is. And this is a good example of this market kept going lower, the bidding kept going lower and lower and lower until we found buyers are willing to say, no, I'm going to step in. I'm buying at that price. That's a good price for me. I'm buying at it. Okay, we're going long here. And that's what happened. Even if it was just for a brief amount of time, you had buyers that are very strong right there for about 4 or 5 points that said, no, this area we're buying it up. And that's what you see here happening. Okay. So looks like this is going to be a pretty good rejection bar here. But we're going to have to wait to kind of see what's playing out here, because our volume is still pretty high. So we just need to know that this is a confirmed area of buyers at this point. It's all we're seeing is this is a confirmed area of buyers. That's all we can say for sure right now. That's an area of strong buying, so we have to watch to see what else price action is going to do. Slowing down a little bit. You start to see the wicks come out of the bottom right here. Let me draw some. Starting to see wicks right here. Wick, right? Big wick. I don't like that. Come on. Control F2. Big wick there. So these wicks right here are big. You got to start watching these wicks. These mean something, guys. These wicks mean something. They mean something. Okay? So let's watch. Let's get to watching. Let's spread this out a little bit so we can see a little bit more. Does it possibly go all the way down here? I don't know. Let's see. Redraw that here. Can this go all the way back up here for a bounce? Don't know. We'll watch and see. That's right. So good observation. That's the high. Soto said this is the highest that volume has gone up during our session thus far. Was to the downside here. You can see that right there. That's our highest volume level thus far. So that tells you there's a lot of strength going to the downside, a lot of big money going to the downside right there, a lot of sell orders coming in. So we busted through this, what was previous right here, this was previous demand. Once we busted through that, we were on a downfall until we found the next area of the buyers, or support and resistance, or buyers. Okay, that's what we found right here at this level at 29.05.50. We kind of started finding that. Okay, and then up to 29.75 we found it, and now we're going higher. So let's see what happens here if we can get a confirmed confirmed pivot and rejection bar by the breaking of this high right here will tell us that it was confirmed. Okay, that's a good turnaround point for time being. It might just be taking a breather after that big long run, because the market does have to breathe. You might think that sounds funny, but it does. It just won't continually go up or down without taking some breathing, okay, and kind of coming back in a little bit and resting and retracing a little bit and then continuing in its market direction. Okay, but we did tell you, remember, we did tell you around 10 o'clock what happens, right? And sure enough, look, this 10 o'clock time frame was actually this candle where we have a supply demand. This area right here was actually the first real commitment to the downside, big commitment by institutions to where they wanted to play for the day. You know, even though we had a high all the way back here at 9:45, I did say, you go back to listen to the recording, I said between 9:45 and 10:15 we would have our momentum for the day, where we're going to go. And sure enough, look what happened. At 10 o'clock we committed to it, and it's been nothing but sell off ever since. Yep, I like that, Soto. That's a good idea. That's right. But what this tells you right now is, for you, you'd be done at this point anyway. You just call it a day. You made 2 points today so far, so you would be calling it for the day if you wanted to. But what it does say is right. There's a lot of movement down here. The big boys are in control. Let them rest and come back into our areas of trade. And if you want to step away, get you some coffee, relax, get you some ice cream, as Soto says, then that's what you would do at this point in time. Just kind of wait for price to get out of this dead zone or between some supply and demand zones and support and resistance zones. It's in a dead zone for us, what we call a dead zone anyway. So we want to wait for that to kind of tell us which way it's going to go before we kind of even consider any kind of trades again. Okay, it's already 10:45. So for us, we're getting close to the end of our trading session. So we kind of probably most likely done for the day, but we'll kind of just watch it and see. Okay. Soto says, I don't have any trade zones in this area, so I'm not looking for any trades at this time. Hands off the trigger until I get into one of my trade zones. That's exactly right. That's what I just said. That's right. That's perfect. And 2 points and walk, but I want to listen to the great. Well, thanks, Soto. I appreciate you continuing to push up the channel. That's good. I like it. Because right, yeah, I mean, this is definitely something. I'll stumble quite a bit, and it's going to be nice when I can get you and Mitchell in here and y'all can talk as well. And that'd be great to get y'all in here, because it'll help break up just my voice for other people. So that'd be good. And like I said, you'll have different. You can relate things a little different than I will, and I can. You have a different perspective, and that's one thing that's wonderful about every trader has a different perspective on their life, and as well as what they see in the market and how they interpret things. So it'd be good to have more voices in here that more people will relate to, which is great. So looks like, guys, most likely at this point, even the volume's dying. There could be a trade coming up into this zone here if you really wanted it, but like I said, it's 10:45. The meet's happened for me at this point. I'm probably not going to trade at all anymore unless it were to get into back all the way up to 29.24 area in this area within the next few minutes, which I don't think will happen. But if that were to happen for some way, shape, or form, then I would probably consider a trade back to the downside, but probably not. Okay. Hey, Paul, thanks, man. I appreciate that encouragement. I appreciate it. This is definitely a new way for me to teach, and we're not being face-to-face, sitting right by somebody or sitting on your computer with you. It's kind of a different way for me to trade, so I appreciate you giving me that encouragement. Thank you. That's what this room is about. That's what this channel is going to be about, is encouragement. And that goes for me too. So we all need it. Every one of us need it. It's good for everybody to be encouraged, and get kind of pat on the back and kind of hold hand and take you through the method and teach you. And so I appreciate the encouragement. Thank you, Paul. All right, guys, I'm going to step away just 1 second, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. So thank you for being patient. Yep, looks like nothing's going to really happen as far as what for our method at this point. So I'm pretty sure we're done. So we're probably going to shut her down in about 12 minutes. So if you got any questions, throw them in there. We'll try to get them answered here. But we're probably going to shut down at right around 11 o'clock because big moves have happened, and I think we're going to have another move down, up in, well, if we can get up into our 2924 area, the 2950-ish area, but we're not going to be around for that, it doesn't look like. So again, I want to tell you guys, thank you for coming today. Thank you for watching this live stream replay. If you're watching it on replay, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for being here. Please, if you have any questions, holler at us. Put some comments in if you want some questions answered, or you'd like to see some things a little bit different. Holler at. Go ahead and write that in there. I guess you can't really holler at me, but write that in the comments, and then we'll be sure to kind of see what we can do about accommodating some of those. But again, check us out. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video, please, and hopefully we can grow this channel and kind of be a good well, hold on a second, I lost my thought. Before we go, can you tell us how and what videos to watch to best learn the indicators? Yeah, well, what you're going to see is on the channel here, I'm not going to refer you to other videos by other YouTubers right now. What I'm going to do, just give me the rest of the week, and I'm going to have the whole method on video in our channel here, where you can study and learn the whole method. But right now, I've got 2 videos in there on the method. We got the first tool of our tool set in there, and that is on candlesticks, which is price action, and I'll refer to that again. But the next one, I'll do the next 4 videos over the next few days to kind of have the whole method in the channel and on a playlist there. It's a methodology playlist, and you can actually study the method and learn what we're doing here. But again, just so you understand, it's going to be a quick study. And that's how it's intended to be, and that's what I need you to understand. It's going to be a quick study, guys. Trading is not difficult. The actual bones and structure of trading and the methodology and the philosophy is not difficult at all. It's very elementary. Like I said, if you've been around trading for a long time, you're going to think it can't be that easy, but it is. It absolutely is. You've seen it twice today already. Soto's proven that to you. The This is what you need to do is make it simple, make it easy. Okay, it's not difficult. Please understand that. It's not the more indicators you have on your chart, the better trader you are, because that's just not the case. What that does is takes you a longer time to decide to enter a trade or not to enter a trade, and it gives you paralysis by analysis concept. Okay, so you got too much to try to make a decision on. No, you don't need very much. You just need basics. You need price action. You need the basic structure of the market, and you need to know what the market's doing, and you can do that as simple as volume, supply and demand zones, support and resistance, and candlesticks for the price action. It's that simple. I can't tell you any more. It's just that simple. So don't overcomplicate it, because it's not difficult. Okay, now you, like I said earlier, the one making the trade is going to be the X factor here. The method's not the X factor. You're the X factor. So can you take trade only when you need to take trade? Can you suffer losses and be okay knowing that it was the right decision to get into the right trade? Can you be patient and sit on your hands until all 5 of the check marks, or all 4 or 5 of the check marks on the trade list are checked off to make that trade? And if you enter at that point in time when they're all checked off and you lose, then so be it. You can say, okay, I followed the method and I lost. That's going to happen. That's okay. But what you're going to find out, you're going to win more often than you lose. Okay, and just by keeping a 1-to-1, you're going to make money. Okay, eventually I'm going to show you how to make more than 1-to-1, but for right now, you need to learn how to enter trades. This is all about entering trades. If you can learn to enter trades at the right place, the right time, you can make a whole lot of money. Okay, and a good example, guys, this zone right here was drawn right here. I technically could have entered this trade right here on this candle right here at 10.10. It's a little more advanced entry, but look at that. Had I got in right there, look what a risk reward would have been. I could have gone in right here. My risk would have been even at what is this? What do I got this set up as? Let me see. That's just a 3-to-1 right there, risk to reward. At a 3-to-1, that's nothing. That's just not a lot, right? I'd have risked 3 points to make 9 points. Okay. Could I have gone a lot further? Absolutely. But the point is, I can teach you how to catch these long moves. As a matter of fact, that's what the auto trader does. It catches this long move right here. He would have made this long move at this point. It would have made probably 3/4 of that profit right there. The auto trader would have. So, but it's a different methodology that deals with a different way of trading that you're not ready to learn here yet. Okay, so but our method's going to teach you how to get 1-to-1, and it's going to teach you how to enter the trades at the right time at the right spot, and that is the core ingredient to being successful, and the proper stop management, which we have in place. Okay, so hang in there, stay with us. Go to the channel, watch what videos I've got up thus far. It's a new channel, so bear with me. We're at the very beginning stages of growing this channel and putting content on there, but we wanted just to go ahead and jump into it and kind of, just jump into the deep end, as they say, and then we'll kind of figure out how to swim, and that's kind of what we're doing here is, by going ahead and doing live streams without all the content on the channel. That way some people will get lost easily that's never traded before, and I'm sorry for that. But just bear with us. Learn that, hey, just get in here, kind of watch and learn that, hey, we're going to be very encouraging. We're going to be very positive. We want you to do very well. You're going to ask all kind of questions, and we're not going to say, are you kidding me? How can you ask that kind of question? That's basic common sense kind of stuff. Well, we're not going to do that, So I want you to, even if you've never traded, I want you to kind of jump in here and kind of take a risk and ask some questions. Get out of your comfort zone, ask some questions, because we want to see you succeed in here. That's the reason this channel is free. I'm not going to put this whole course together and teach you all this method and try to charge you thousands of dollars to do that. That's not what I'm here to do. I know there's a lot of other channels out there that do that, and they do well at that, and they make a lot of money by charging people to learn, but that's just not what we want to do here. Okay, we want to be a very friendly channel here, a family-friendly channel as far as the encouragement and language and things like that in the chat, but We want to show you, hey, you can make a living. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to make money in the markets. You don't have to be a trust fund baby to make money in the markets either. So it can be done with very little money, and it can be done with no knowledge of the market. Okay, and that's what we want you to see here and understand. And that's the reason we're going to keep this channel free. Okay, if you want to, like I said, if you're interested in making money while you learn, then that's what the Auto Trader's for. But I'm not going to push that, but it's in there if you want to learn about it. Okay, but understand you can come here and learn free every day. It's not going to give you the kind of returns that the Auto Trader will give you, but it's a way for you to learn. Okay, let me see here. Soto says study hard. And let's see. Paul said the price action video was very insightful. That's good. That's the candlestick video I just made for you. That's one of the first pieces of the puzzle to learn price action. Learn really what candlesticks mean and how to read them. And just from that one little video, it's 20-minute video, I guess, somewhere around there. I'll be blabbering about different things, but what you'll see is learning some basic formation of candles and recognizing those. And Paul, I'm pretty sure at this point, after watching the video, you can kind of see what I was referring to as some of these long candles and the wick candles and how things are turning over, what price is slowing down based on the candle structure and formation. That's kind of stuff you'll learn, and even on this live stream, you'll at least start to be able to concentrate and watch that and start to understand that and see that unfold. And that's a very important part of the process before going forward and learning all of it. We want to get you one step at a time. We want to build on that foundational block, okay? And that's what this is. Okay, so that's great. So I started out with no knowledge of trading, and today I made 2 out of 2 trades, following the rules and trusting the system that BK is teaching you and me for free. So watch and share. That's great. Thanks, Soto. I appreciate you saying that. But you're 100%, you're a very good example of the method and how it works by being patient, because I taught you one piece at a time. And I made you understand one piece at a time before we unfolded the entire method, which with me getting behind here actually might be actually a blessing that it's done that way, because people have to understand and master one piece of the puzzle at a time. And that's what you've done, and you've grown your account thousands of %. So good job. All right. Study hard, Soto says. Absolutely. You got to study, man. There's no way around it. You got to study. Okay. It's not difficult stuff to study, but you got to study. All right. Without data, you're just a person with an opinion. Guys, we have the data. This is amazing. Yeah, that's it. So that's Soto talking there. You'll hear his voice, hopefully not too long, but that's exactly right. He's exactly right. Paul with the thumbs up. Appreciate that, man. All right. Good job. All right. So we're seeing price do what it does right now. We've got 1 minute until close. There could be some trades coming up here. But again, it's 11 o'clock, guys. I'm done. We've made the 2 points for the room today. It's just time to head on out, okay? But anyway, thank you very much for taking the time to hang out and watch the channel. Appreciate that. Watch the live stream. Again, we'll be here every day, Monday through Friday, from 9 to 11:30 Eastern time, somewhere around there. Today we're going to cut it off at 11, but I think it would be a great thing for you to get in here and learn. But please subscribe to the channel, share it, like it, and then like the videos, and then we can go from there. But guys, appreciate it. Hope y'all have a great day, and we look to talk to you soon. All right, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. Bye-bye.